Hello friends, this is the second chapter of the Simplest Vedic Astrology course, and the name of this chapter is The Basics of Vedic Astrology. And in this chapter, we will be learning some really basic things in really simple ways. One of the first things that we will try and understand is how does a chart look like. So, Vedic astrology depends on a chart. We will first understand different types of charts and how a chart looks like and why a chart is the way it is designed. A chart ऐसा क्यों है? What does a chart constitute? And then we will move on to understanding the different parts of the chart with the help of simple understanding, simple stories, simple tools. So let's begin. So there are two different types of charts that are mainly used in India. One is a North Indian chart, one is a South Indian chart. Now there are also East Indian charts, but we do not use them mostly, right? So there is a North Indian chart and there's a South Indian chart. Now, North Indian charts are not as simple as it looks. Understanding a North Indian chart has been very difficult to all my students. So what we choose to do is we choose to use the South Indian charts mostly, and we shall use only the South Indian chart, which is on the right hand side, to explain all the concepts. And also within a few days you'll also be able to start predicting about life events, characters of a person, everything, past events, present events, based only on the South Indian chart, which is on the right hand side. So as you see, the South Indian chart, it just has 12 different boxes. 12 boxes, and there is plain white space in the middle. You can ignore all of the designs that are at the edge of this box. The only thing that matters are these 12 different boxes which are around this white space. This white space in the center is also not very useful, but I'll just show you how it works. Now, the person you see here is the famous Osho Rajneesh. He's famously known as Osho, and he's one of the best philosophers of this whole world. He is the most educated, learned philosopher that you will come across. I think you will already know him. But in case you do not know, just comment on this video and I will share details about Osho, maybe links, videos. There is a whole Osho International chapter which produces videos, audios, etc. of his podcasts and teachings, etc. You can read a lot of books. One of the most important books of Osho was a book of man, and there's also a book of a woman. If you ever get time, try and read this book of man and book of a woman. It will completely change your understanding of how men and women are created, what a man is and what a woman is. Men are always ambitious, women are always looking for love. Okay, that came out wrong, so we'll delete that. Now, when you see the chart on the right hand side, this chart belongs to Gurudev Osho, who is Osho Rajneesh. So if you see, there are 12 different boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. There are 12 different boxes. And then there is this central space in the middle, which is only used to write down the person who this chart belongs to, his name, his date of birth, his time of birth, and then the time zone of that person's location of birth. If you say the person was born in Delhi, the time zone is going to be 5.5. For everybody in India, it is usually 5.5. We will not get into the specifics of what a time zone is and how it works. It mostly comes under calculation and the advanced astrology. Now, you will also see a latitude and longitude. Latitude and longitude are those two metrics which are used to pinpoint the location on a map. So we will also use latitude and longitude, but when you create a chart, you will not need latitude and longitude depending upon what tool you are using. So if you are using the tool that we prescribe, you do not need a latitude and a longitude, or you don't need a time zone also. All you need is the date and time plus a location of the birth, right? So now, when you see this chart, it's called as a Lagna chart. It takes the birth date, birth time and time zone as inputs and uses latitude, longitude to create all the planetary positions. So if you see this one, this is Jupiter, And Jupiter is in this house right now. You don't need to know houses. We will learn houses in the next chapter. But from this chapter, what all you need to know is, one, there are some planets. The planets are also there in this chart. There is details of birth info, birth date, birth time, etc. on this chart. And there will be more on the future charts which we see, but we will not be into that right now. So this is a basic South Indian chart. This is how it looks like. And from here, we will move on to understanding a few things. If you see the first thing here, it's written as ASC in pink or red, right? So we will try to understand what an ASC is. And then we will also try to understand why specifically there are 12 different boxes here, and why not 13 or why not 11 or why not something else. So we'll try to understand that. And then we will try to understand what these boxes actually mean. What are these boxes? What do they actually mean? What is ascendant and all of these things? So let's begin with that. So the first and foremost thing that we want to understand is, what is a zodiac? A zodiac or a zodiacal sign, you must have heard about what a zodiac is. Like, for example, Aquarius, Aries, Pisces, etc., etc. So what exactly is a zodiac? So if you are at any point on this earth, let's say you are on this point in this earth and you look up in the sky, then there will be a band of imaginary, so it's an imaginary band. It's an apparent imaginary band, which we call as the zodiac. It's divided into 12 different parts, and hence there are 12 different zodiacs, right? So anywhere from the earth, you are always impacted by 12 different zodiac signs at all points of time. It's an imaginary band around the earth. It's like a round ring around the earth, which is divided in 12 different parts, and hence 12 different zodiac signs, right? So the idea is, the earth keeps revolving around the sun, and it takes a whole year to do that. And during this time, it looks like the sun is moving from one part to another part, to another part, and to another part. And our ancient sages divided it into 12 different parts and called it as zodiac. So you do not really need to know anything more about it, about the astronomy part of it, because astronomy gets quite complicated. So we will just look at it from an astrology perspective, that there are 12 different zodiac signs, and it's an imaginary band around the earth. So any position on earth will always be impacted by this band of zodiac. Okay, now let's move ahead, and then probably we will discuss zodiac signs in depth in one of the next chapters, right? So this is exactly the same picture in 3 dimensions. If you see, we have created a 3-dimensional band around the earth, and each one is around 30 degrees, because total you will have 360 degrees, and divided by 12 is around 30 degrees. So this angle is going to be 30 degrees always. So we have 12 different zodiacs. We will talk about zodiacs like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, etc., etc. as we move on in this course. But for now, there are 3 main things that you need to understand. One is a zodiac. Second is an ascendant, which I showed you on the previous chart. What is an ascendant, what it means, etc. Third is a planet, and fourth is a house. So there are 4 different things that you need to learn. Now we will start one after another. We'll start learning one after another. We'll start with what an ascendant really is. And once you are through all these 4 different things, you're going to be able to predict about somebody's future, somebody's past, somebody's characteristics. With just these 4 things, you can start predicting. Okay, so now we did have a question as to why only 12 different boxes? Why only 12 different signs? Why did our ancient people create only 12 signs, or 12 zodiac signs, or 12 boxes in a big box, and called it as a Vedic chart or a D-1 chart, right? And to answer that question, we have a very simple, beautiful story of the moon and Daksh Prajapati. Now, what happened was, Daksh Prajapati was one of the creators. He was the son of Brahma, and he had 27 different daughters. Each daughter signified a nakshatra. There are 27 nakshatras in Vedic astrology. It's like just a second. What happened? Oh yeah, anyway. So there are 27 different nakshatras in Vedic astrology, and each nakshatra was one of the daughters of Daksh Prajapati. So Daksh Prajapati had 27 daughters, each one representing a nakshatra. The nakshatras start with Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Rohini, Mrigashira, etc. Arkara, Punarvasu, Pushami, and it goes on to have 27 nakshatras. Now the next thing is Daksh Prajapati. Now the next thing is Daksh Prajapati got his 27 daughters married to the moon or Chandra. So Chandra was married to 27 nakshatras. So Chandra was also spending one night with each of the nakshatras. So he takes around 27.3 days to cover the entire earth. So he was spending one night each with each nakshatra, but he was the most happiest when he passed through the Rohini nakshatra. Rohini nakshatra is one of the most beautiful, the brightest nakshatras, and hence when moon passed through this Rohini nakshatra, astronomically moon gets brighter and gets much more beautiful compared to any other nakshatra. So now, mythologically, what it means also is the moon was the happiest around Rohini nakshatra. The moon was always brighter and more happier around Rohini as compared to the other 26 nakshatras. So these 26 nakshatras, they felt very unhappy because the moon is now focusing more on Rohini rather than all other 26 nakshatras. So all these 26 daughters. So all these 26 daughters, they go to Daksh Prajapati and they start complaining that moon is not focusing on us, he's focusing only on Rohini and everyone else has been treated the same way. So Daksh Prajapati got very angry and he warned moon to treat each and every one of his daughters the same way. Otherwise, he would put a curse. But moon did not listen and moon felt happy only with Rohini. And this is when Daksh Prajapati gave a curse to moon, saying that now I will take away all your light. Let all your light go away. So moon started waning completely. He started losing his brightness. And this is when all the gods got really worried that, look, if moon is losing his brightness, then all the other life forces in the world are also going to disappear, because now there will be no tides in the sea won't move, the seasons won't change, the plants will die, animals will die, there's no night and dark anymore. And hence, they went and they spoke to Daksh Prajapati, and now Daksh Prajapati partially cut down that curse and he partially blessed moon, saying that you will lose light but you will also gain light, right? And because of this, moon always has a waxing and a waning phase, and there are 12 lunar cycles in 365 days, and hence we have 12 different boxes and 12 different zodiac signs. So the number 12 aligns with most cultures around the world. Most cultures like Egyptians, Babylonians, Greeks, they all have 12-month calendars. So we also have 12-month calendars. Similarly, our ancient sages said, let's have 12 different boxes and 12 different zodiac signs. So we have 12 houses, we have 12 zodiac signs, right? So our ancient people did not have clocks, but they majorly depended on moon. They relied on moon and moon waxing and waning more than they relied on sun. The hunters, gatherers, farmers, most of them relied on moon. That's why moon is so important. And that's why we have the number 12, which is so important. That's why we have 12 different boxes and we have 12 different zodiac signs. Okay, so I hope you are clear on why 12 different boxes in a Vedic astrology chart, right? So we have 12 different lunar cycles and hence we use 12 as that number, right? Now we have 12 different boxes and 12 different zodiac signs. This is a simple Vedic astrology South Indian chart. So I'm just representing the 12 different zodiac signs in the 12 different parts of this chart. So we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So these are the 12 signs. And these zodiac signs are fixed in a house. So this house is always going to be Aries. This house is always going to be Taurus. This house is always going to be Gemini. This house is always going to be Cancer. This house is always going to be Leo. So this is how our Vedic astrology chart is designed. Okay, these things do not change, and you do not need to remember it at this point of time, because as you go on watching the other chapters in this course, you will be able to even remember each and every zodiac and able to understand what exactly the zodiac is, how does it work, how does it impact a human being, right? So now we come to the most important part of Vedic astrology, the ascendant or the lagna, right? So as you saw in the previous chart, in Posho's chart, we have the ascendant here, right? So ascendant is the doorway into the astrology chart. So everything starts with the ascendant. So wherever the ascendant is placed, you call that as house number 1 at all different times. Okay, let's go back. So this house in this case is house number 1. So this house is going to be the house number 1, and this house is going to be house number 2. This is going to be house number 3. This is going to be house number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So 12 different houses, but the house counting will always start where ascendant is placed. We'll try to understand what is ascendant in the next few minutes. But the most important thing about ascendant is that the ascendant is always going to be the doorway into this whole chart. So now let's first try and understand a simple definition of what an ascendant is. You do not really need to memorize this. You just need a simple understanding of what it means. So we've gone through what is a zodiac. If we have understood what a zodiac is, it's an imaginary band, it's an imaginary ring around the earth where there are 12 different zodiacs aligned, right? So if you look, wherever you stand on earth, if you look at a point, you will always see one zodiac. So the idea of ascendant is, the idea of ascendant is when you were born, at the point, at the time of your birth, at the exact time of your birth, let's say you were born at 1:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. At 1:30 p.m., if one looked at the eastern horizon, you find the direction of east and then look at that direction, the zodiac that is rising in that direction is what is called as the ascendant. Let's say the zodiac that was rising was Sagittarius. Then you become a Sagittarius ascendant, and you get all the qualities of a Sagittarius ascendant. Sagittarius is a zodiac, and zodiacs have their own characteristics. So if your ascendant is Sagittarius, you get the qualities of Sagittarius. Okay, so that is the entry of your whole chart. So if you have an entry, let's say we want to understand the whole chart, the only way is to pass through this entrance, and this entrance is what is the ascendant. So going back, when you were born, at the point of your birth, if somebody looked at the eastern horizon, let's say, I hope you understand directions. So if somebody looked at the eastern horizon is just nothing but the last point of your vision. Okay. So if you looked at the eastern horizon, the zodiac that was rising at that point is the ascendant. It's a very simple explanation. You do not need to know ascendant unless you are writing or you are creating your own chart manually. The chart that I showed you earlier, this chart, if you're going to create it manually using a pen and pencil, pen, or if you want to write some computer code to generate ascendant, then only you will need this information. Otherwise, The most important thing that you need to remember is that the ascendant is the doorway into the whole chart. The point where ascendant becomes the house number 1 in South Indian Vedic astrology chart, from which you will start counting the different houses. So if moon is placed in Aries and Aries is your ascendant, then moon is in house number 1. So everything starts with the ascendant, and ascendant has it's important, but any other functionality we will understand it later so that we don't complicate this point, right? So now we've understood what an ascendant is. We've understood okay, now let's summarize what we've learned till now. We've understood that a simple Vedic astrology chart has 12 different boxes, and the space at the middle of the chart is completely empty. It is just to keep writing your birth chart, birth time, birth location, time zone, and longitude, etc., etc. So this whole part is actually not required. So it makes it easier for you. Now you don't have to think about this, right? Now the Vedic astrology chart is divided into 12 different parts, and each part has a different zodiac. We learned that, right? And we also understood why it is 12 and not 13 or 11. So we understood that. Now we know that it has 12 boxes for a certain reason. And that reason is mainly due to moon and moon's lunar phases per year. It's got 12 lunar cycles, etc., etc. Right? So now next we are going to try and understand what are these 12 different houses. Like, so our ancient set of people, our ancient creators, created astrology in a very meaningful way. They charted our whole. Okay, our ancient creators of astrology, they created astrological charts in a very meaningful way. They divided a life of a person. Let's say it's me. My life has been divided into 12 different functions, 12 different areas, and those 12 different areas are depicted on a chart. Okay, this is not in the same order, but I've just created 12 different houses as 12 different rooms in a building. Let's say this building is me. This is my life, and I have 12 different rooms in my house. Each one room is a different room. Each room depicts a different area of life. For example, the first room is always about me, my personality, the way I look at myself, everything about me, who I am, what's my purpose. That's what the first house always shows. If you go to the second house is about wealth, family, and speech, and food, and a few other things. Right? So the second house will always depict the same thing: wealth, speech, family, etc. So each house can also have multiple different areas, but we will only look at the basic ones. For example, house number 4 is always the family, motherland, land, emotions, etc. House number 3 is usually for courage, siblings, etc. Right? House number 5 is for romantic interests, creativity, passion, etc. House number 6 is for service, health obstacles. House number 7 is for partnerships, marriage, etc. House number 8 is called the house of transformation. So you don't have to really remember all of these things at this point in time. As we go on in this course, you will tend to remember each one through stories and through metaphors. And so you do not really need to remember anything at this point in time. So I'm just telling you how a chart is designed, what it really represents, right? House number 10 is the career house. So anything related to career, you will have to check the 10th house. House number 11 is the house of networking, friendship, and gains. So anything related to networking, friendship, gains, you will look at 11th house. House number 9 is a house of higher learnings, wisdom, and such. House number 12 is the house of release. It's the house of sleep. If you have sleeping disorders, you will always look at the 12th house. So in this way, our ancient people have designed, or let's say crafted, a Vedic astrology chart in a very beautiful way. So this also represents the same exact thing. So we'll just go ahead into the next one. Now, we understood what a zodiac is. It's a circular band around the earth. We have still not gone through planets. So sun, moon, they are all planets. So we'll do planets in the next chapter. And we've also seen what a house is and what a house does. Like this one. The first house is all about yourself, you, everything about you. Your personality, your body, everything. So, a house always shows which area of life is being controlled by that part. A zodiac, let's take a very simple example of this whole room. A person is here and he's doing some exercise in a gym room, right? So let's say this person is the planet, and let's just say he is the sun. S-U-N, sun. S-U-N, sun. Okay. This is the planet Sun or Surya, and this planet is in, let's say, house number something, house number 4 or house number 5, right? So zodiac acts like the interior of that room. Let's call this as a room in a house. The zodiac is like the interior inside this room. So if the interior of a room is good, I will also be happy and I will also do everything accordingly. I'll jump, I'll run, I'll do something else. But if the interior is very dark, I do not feel good, I do not enjoy that home. Similarly, the house area is basically, in this case, it's a gym room. So this person is working out. Like when I said 10th house is only for career and public image. So if this was a 10th house, this person would be working on his career, on his public image, etc. Right? So this whole thing is an example of how a zodiac integrates with a planet, and that integrates the house. So let's summarize. A house is which area of life, basically. Let's say house 10 is career. Career is the area of your life. A planet, there are different planets. You have Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, etc. And then you have the zodiac. There are 12 different zodiacs which we've already seen. So when you predict something, you will consider all these three, including the ascendant. Ascendant is the entrance to the chart. So we don't see ascendant here because ascendant is the entrance to this chart. We've already entered, right? So I hope this example helped you understand what a zodiac is, what a planet is, and what a house is, and how they are all interconnected. So we go through another example. Let's say this is house number X, and the area of life that it controls is food or the kitchen, right? So this is all about kitchen. I'm giving you an imaginary house, which the area is only about kitchen and cooking food and heat food, right? Zodiac, basically, let's say it is Leo, right? So Leo is a lion, and it's the way this house is designed, this room looks, its interior decoration, how good, how not good. So if you are a Leo, you would be so energetic in the kitchen, and you would want to be the center of attention in that kitchen when other people are seeing you cook, and you're going to make this most special dish and you're going to eat it. And if the planet can be, let's say, Moon is in Leo, right? So now Moon is impacted by this zodiac, that is Leo. Moon is inside a room that has been designed as Leo, and Moon is also in this area. So Moon is going to be working on your area of kitchen, that is cooking food. So this is an imaginary story of how zodiac connects to a planet, which connects to a house. Right? Okay. So I think this is it for this chapter. But to summarize, we've gone through what an ascendant is. Okay. To summarize, we've gone through how does a chart look like, what an ascendant is, what a zodiac is, what a planet is, what a house is, and how they interconnect, right? So, ascendant is the entry into the chart. It's the gateway into a chart. You go inside through ascending. Wherever the ascendant is placed becomes the house number 1. Next, once you know the ascending, you have planets. A planet goes and sits inside a house. And now that planet is going to be also working on this area that is designed for this specific house. Let's say house number 10. So this is house number 10. This room is for house number 10. So house number 10 is career. So your planet is going to be impacting your career, right? Similarly, it is the zodiac of that house is Leo. So the characteristics of Leo are going to impact how the planet functions on the specific career or kitchen in this case, in that specific house. So I hope this example was nice, and I hope this is going to be helpful. So let's move on to the next chapter.